After 6 long weeks, got that early access back, but life just seems to keep getting in the way of work. And some load board tactics. Let's get after it. So last Saturday night at midnight, there I am like a fiend, just taking my phone, scrolling down, looking for that refresh, and sure enough at midnight, my Amazon grade returned back to 100%, got the early access back. I had all these plans as soon as I got it back to go, start making some money, get out in the truck and do this, and wouldn't you know, within 24 hours of that, both of our personal cars at our house, we're a family of 4, my wife, myself, 2 kids, both of our cars break. Just some random stuff. The Accord needed a modulator. I don't even know what that is, but I know Honda will cover that. It's something that they cover under their warranty for like 150,000 miles. And then the Pilot had I don't know what it's called. I'm not a car guy, but it basically a $650 piece on the Pilot broke. Got both cars taken care of, but I've never felt more like a failure, 45 years old, having to go to my parents and be like, can I borrow a car so I can take my wife to work and pick my kids up from school? It's a rough week. So I had these plans to work and life got in the way. Not all of it was bad though. My daughter graduated from the 8th grade. I wouldn't have missed that for the world. But anyway, just, had these plans to work and it didn't really turn out. But here I am tonight in the truck, seeing what we can do. So enough about me and my broke down cars. Let's talk about the load board now. Now, I get a lot of comments from people, especially on my load board videos, that they'll get on there and say like, man, these rates suck. I wouldn't do this. These rates are no good. And for the most part, I agree. But, to understand that, you kind of have to look at like, how should you be booking loads on Amazon? And by no means am I like an authority on this. I can tell you exactly how I do it and what's worked for me. But, I will say with the people who are looking at like a 60-second clip of a load board, I have never gotten on the load board and immediately booked a load. I kind of treat the load board as if it's like a living, breathing thing. I will look at a load board and see like, I'm looking for a couple of things. How many loads are on there? What are they paying? And probably most importantly, how fast are they disappearing? So, if I get on there and I see one load and it's been on there for a while and then finally it disappears, i.e. somebody booked it, that's probably not a good time to go trucking. It's not, to have one well-paying load on there and to have it not immediately disappear, but go away, it's probably not going to be a good night. Now, you compare that to, let's say you've been watching the load board for 20, 30 minutes, and over that time, they've put 8 well-paying loads on there, and of the 8, 30 minutes later, 6 of them are still there, and they're all loads that you would take, that you can make money on. That's probably a pretty good night to go trucking. Next comes down to how do you want to sort these loads. Typically, before I've ever began my day or night, whenever, like nighttime right now, I will typically sort them by price per distance highest. There has to be a good reason for me to go start my day or my night. And, typically that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that well-paying first load that's kind of like my anchor for the night. Now, once I've done that, and I'm giving this about it, if I keep looking this way, it's because I have the load board running. Once I have done that, and I'm already out here for the night, now I'll switch my search around and start doing for start date nearest, because it's, like I don't really care if the load pays $10 a mile and it's tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at noon, I'm going to be asleep. I'm interested in what's happening right here, right now. And sometimes it's necessary to cut through the fluff. Amazon is notorious for dropping multiple loads, 10 to 15 loads at once. And let's say you scroll through them, but you're not interested in a single one, or they just don't pay enough yet. The problem with that is now you've got, 10 to 15 loads that show up as green in your load board. And it's hard to tell if they drop a 16th, if maybe you're interested in it, if you're having to kind of dig through those other 15. The easiest way to make them all turn white again is to resort your search by whatever search criteria you've given it. So if you have them sorted by price per distance, hit the price per distance button, they all turn white. If you got them sorted by, start time nearest, go in and hit the start time nearest, they all turn white. That way, when they do drop an additional load, it's showing up as green and it's easier to identify. So do I hope a 60-second glimpse into a load board gives somebody some sort of insight? Of course I do, but just keep in mind that's not exactly how I book loads. I don't make any decisions within 60 seconds. The load I booked earlier tonight, I booked it for 2 reasons. 1, it paid $6.50 a mile. 2, it ended in Otay, which for a Friday night at 10:26, having the truck ready to go, there's no place I'd rather be. So I hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.